discipline the most important skill. And yet, nobody tells you why. Everybody talks about it. You need discipline. You need that grit. You need that fortitude. You need focus. Hell, I talk about it all the time. But why? Why do you need it? Why is it such a quintessential skill? Why is it so important that you have discipline? And the reason, and at least the framing I think I want to put on it, is this: that it is the highest form of self-love. There is all these things that get tossed around these days about self-love and how important it is to love yourself. And so often, loving yourself seems to be indulgent and, have the chocolate, have the ice cream, have the beer, have the pizza, have the whiskey, have whatever the fuck it is. Indulge yourself. You deserve it. Love yourself. And we spoke about it before, but I keep coming back to it. That's not self-love. That is self-punishment. It's indulgence in the moment, but it's not actually loving you. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is that commitment to yourself. It is that one that speaks to future you. It says, my dreams matter more than the instant gratification. They matter more than this quick dopamine hit. They matter more than chasing some pleasure right here and now. I am choosing future joy and satisfaction and happiness over something that is fleeting and insignificant in the long run. In the spectrum of life, this moment here and now is insignificant and won't change anything. But it could change the future you. It could change everything in the future if you don't choose the path of discipline. That's why it matters so much. It is this commitment to who you are in the future. And that's why it's the highest form of self-love. And I often get people who think that's crazy. But it's true. We've spoken about it before. Exercise isn't punishment. Eating well isn't punishment. It is a reward. It is looking after the vessel that serves you at the highest level. It's the thing that looks after everything you are. It matters more than anything else that you could ever do in your life. If you don't have your health, you have fucking nothing. So many people have whittled away their life chasing money, and the second they get sick, the second that their health disappears, what do they look towards? What are they chasing? What would they give up and sacrifice to get it all back? Everything. Everything. They would give it all up to gain back their health and fitness. So it's not a punishment. It's not detrimental. It's not taking away from you. It is rewarding you. It is uplifting you. It is delivering the capacity and the ability to live your life on the highest level, to do the things that you want to do. You must choose health and fitness first. You must choose discipline. You must choose self-love. And no, that doesn't mean that it is for every single choice, but for the majority of them. And the reason why I come back to discipline and grit and fortitude, and people often talk about, well, what about balance? What about this thing? Well, first and foremost, the biggest problem is you haven't earned the right to have the balance yet. You haven't earned the right to off days yet. You haven't put in enough work and shown enough grit and commitment that you have the capacity to have an off day. That comes later. That comes down the track. You have to put in the work first. You have to show that you have the discipline before you can have the break from discipline. And most people aren't willing to put in the time and the effort for that. Most people will go, oh, well, I did really good Monday to Friday, so I can have the weekend off. Fuck no. Let's talk 90, 126 days. of pure commitment, showing that you have the strength and the discipline, showing the man that you are, that you're a man of your word. And then we can talk about having some days off. And then we can talk about, dipping out a little bit. You haven't earned the right yet. You have to develop self-discipline. It is the highest form of love. It is the thing that allows you to do all the other stuff. Delaying gratification for future benefit is the highest level of self-love. It's the level that allows you to achieve things that others won't, that others can't. You do today the things that others won't. So in the future, you do the things that others can't. This is it. And you have the capacity. You just choose not to. This is why we must choose discipline. It's why we must develop it as a skill, as a muscle. Many people believe that it's something that you're born with. It is not. It is something that's developed consistently and unendingly, day in and day out, over and over and over again, in all the small micro choices, in every action you take. It is developed, and you build upon it, and you build upon it, and you build upon it. I was talking the other day, and it was like, look, I love working out. I'm not going to hide that. I have been blessed with that. But also, I have been working out since I was 14. I'm about to turn 33. So for nearly 20 years, I have been working out. So that discipline is ingrained in me. And yet, even with that monumental, massive amount of credibility in my bank, I'd gotten to the point where I wasn't doing the work properly. I'd gotten to the point where I was disgusted with the man in the mirror. I was disgusted with who I saw. I was ashamed. I was a personal trainer. I was talking the talk and I was not walking the walk. I was the height of hypocrisy. I hated it. Yeah, I loved working out, but I still wasn't doing it well enough. I wasn't giving it the effort. I wasn't going all in on it. I wasn't doing the work that was required. No. I was a scam. I was a snake oil salesman. I was shilling this stuff that I wasn't actually following through on. And I had to build up that discipline again. So, for 240 odd days, I haven't missed a fucking workout. It took me a while to ingrain that discipline into me again, to the point that I could take a little bit of the pressure off. I could take my eye off that ball a little bit, and I could shift it to not important, like still incredibly important, but as something I knew I would do no matter what my feelings were, which is the definition of discipline. That I had developed the discipline skill, especially in working out and nutrition, that I knew I would do it no matter how I was feeling. That's a big fucking win. So then I could shift it back in the priority list a little bit. Not too far, not massively, but just a little bit. I could shift it to the end of my day when my feelings and my tiredness and my willpower will have dropped, because I developed that discipline muscle in that area. And I bumped up other areas that I'm not delivering that discipline to that highest level. To start again, basically, to start building that muscle again. Now, that happens quicker because I've already built the discipline muscle in another area. It's why I talk about fitness and nutrition being the foundational skills of building a disciplined life, because they spiderweb. They fill in other areas. It's a halo effect. You start building that, and suddenly you'll start doing better in all the other areas. You start with exercise, then you go to nutrition, and it builds from there, because they stack upon each other. But you've got to start with that discipline, because discipline is, as defined, is doing the work regardless of how you feel. It doesn't matter how you feel about the situation. It doesn't matter if you're tired, whether you're interested in it. It doesn't matter if you want to do it. It doesn't matter any of that. It means that you have decided that it's getting done. It's the ultimate concept of it. I love it when it's this concept of when your motivation is high. when you are primed and you're like, fuck yeah, let's go. We're going to crush this today. This is the plan. And you establish that plan when the motivation is at its peak. And you're like, here is what we're going to do. Here is how we're going to take this on. Here is the work that we are going to do. And then discipline carries you through. Motivation gets you started and discipline carries you through. But there is no adjustment to the plan. There is no alteration because now you don't feel like it. There is no adjusting because, oh, I'm tired, or this happened today, or, woe is me. No, fuck that. You initiate your discipline and you just get it done. You just do the work for the sake of doing the work. You do the work to just show up and win. To show up and win the day. And you do the work because you said you would. You don't need any other reason. You can attach other reasons to it. You can build out other things. You can build out other motivations and all that kind of stuff. But the long and short of it is, you do the work because you said you would. Because you're a man of your word. That you made a promise, either to yourself, to your partner, to your kids, to your family, to your friends, to whoever it might be. You made that promise. Now the work gets done. Once the decision has been made, the work is getting done. And it's a really simplistic notion on life. But I can guarantee you, if you can activate that in your life, if you can build that out and live that way, your life will be different. So much of your life will be different. If once it's been said, it's getting done, you're a different beast. You can't be fucked with. Like, there is nothing that you can't get done. Because once you establish yourself as that man, what can happen? You said it was getting done, therefore it's done. That makes you special. That makes you stand out. That makes you someone who can be counted on. That's an important place to be. That's a special place to be. And anybody, and I mean anybody, can become that man. You just have to make the decision. And then you make the decision. And then you make the decision. And then you make the decision. See, here's the thing. So much of this stuff, everybody wants to make it this really complex, 1,000-step process. It's not. It's really simple and straightforward. It's not fucking easy, but it's simple and straightforward. And it's this. You make a decision that this is who you are, this is what's getting done, and you just keep making that decision. At every little moment, at every interval, at every choice that matters, you make that decision over and over and over again until it's done. As I said, it's really simple. It's not easy, but it's really simple. That's how you win at life. That's how you become a disciplined man. That's how you change the game. That you said you would. Therefore it's done. You said it was happening. Therefore it's happening. That's it. Like, it doesn't get much simpler than that. It's not easy, but it's simple. You must enact the highest form of self-love, self-discipline. You must have discipline in your life. It is the greatest definer and contributor of success. Like, you look at all those people you look up to and admire in sports, in business, in life, in anything. And I can guarantee you they have phenomenal self-discipline. And it wasn't once they got there that they developed it. And it's not like they woke up one day and they're like, wow, I'm really, wealthy and successful. You know what I want to do? Let's build some self-discipline into my life. No. They built that into themselves. They worked on that muscle. They had areas that they just dedicated everything to. And they built it up and they built it up and they followed through and they just kept making the decision. They kept making the decision and the decision and the decision. They just kept doing it. And then eventually they win. And eventually they end up in a position where you're like, wow, I wish I could be them. You could be them. You can be. You can be fucking anything you want within reason. You're not going to be Michael Jordan if you're in your 30s already. But, you know, pretty much anything you want, you could be. If you just decide to have discipline, say no to the instant gratification, commit to the work, and just do it every day. Just keep making that choice that I am a disciplined man. This is a zero choice mentality. I said this work was getting done, therefore it is getting done. End of story. That's it. That's all that's required. And you just keep making that choice. You keep acting as if. You keep acting as if you are a disciplined man. And you will reach that point. And people will be in awe at some point of you. People will admire your level of discipline. And they'll say to you, I wish I could be as disciplined as you. And you'll look at them and know. And smile. And maybe you'll pass it on and go, you can be. You just have to decide to do it. But one of the harshest things and one of the harshest lessons I've had to learn many a times is you cannot help someone who doesn't want to be helped. That's why I can share this message with you, but at the end of the day, you have to make the decision. You have to decide that you want this badly enough. You have to decide that you're going to do this work, that you're going to get this done. That's it. So the question is, are you going to get this done? Are you going to do this work? Are you going to make the decision and be that disciplined man? Yes, no. That's the question. Yes or no. Make the decision and then just make it over and over and over again. And that's the answer. So if you think you can be that disciplined man, if you're ready to be that guy, then shoot me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness. Let's start you on that journey and do the work. If you're not quite there yet, please click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if you took value from this, if it spoke to you, if you know someone who could be inspired by this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it. I'm here every day leading from the front, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.